It's the Sunday Papers podcast with Mike and Greg. Read all about it.
And we're gonna go read all about. Oh, we gotta clap in.
Why are you gonna clap, bitch? There. Did you clap? I didn't hear it.
5, 4.
He clapped on 3. 3, 2, 1. What a pro. What? And I'm showing up today.
Read all about it. Read all about it. Half the staff is on Vicodin, but the news is still coming to you live from San Francisco and Los Angeles. It's Sunday Papers.
There we go. Oh, yeah, you're up there. We have so much to talk about. I'm glad I did it. Here go 3 Advil right down the old chute.
3 Advil.
I want to talk to you about that, too.
All right, so let's talk about what's going on with Mike. He is an he's a young man in an old man's body. You just had your what did you have, your penis replaced?
Again, yes. No, I had my left hip, total left hip replacement on Thursday. Today's Saturday morning. And it went very well. It's outpatient surgery. It's crazy. And I know, forgive me if people have heard about this too much. But anyway, the quick thing is Thursday, I like my guy a lot. Went well. It's outpatient surgery, which is crazy. I was home by like 1 p.m. and then went well. First night's sleep went even well, which is great because I have to sleep on my back, which I'm not good at. Lots of drugs. And then yesterday went well.
What drugs are you on?
Currently, literally, as I sit here, I'm on 5. All right, let me begin with the one that's not working. Stool softener.
Ooh.
Last poop was Wednesday. Should I be concerned?
Today's Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday. No, I often go several days without shitting.
Well, it's a big concern with all the Vicodin, Oxy. I'm on Oxy. And then I'm on Advil, which is actually the most effective because I guess my biggest problem is swelling. And then my knee's giant. I can't hold them up. Anyway, I have these leg things. First of all, I have compression socks. I feel like an astronaut right now with the amount of equipment I have on. I have compression socks. Then I have these things that are, I think, relatively new after surgery. And I know we have doctors, which I don't understand why they listen to this show. But you then wrap a thing with an engine on it, and it squeezes your leg and lets it go. Squeezes your leg. I have them on both legs. Blood clots.
I could have just sent my dog over.
Blood clots are their huge, and infection. Those are their two. They don't even care about the hip anymore. Blood clots and infection are their major concerns.
Jesus.
So I'm on drugs. I feel pretty clear-headed. We'll see how it goes, but I just took a lot.
Speaking of your head, when's the last time you showered?
Wednesday.
Okay.
I only poop in the shower. Yeah.
I did that once in college. I took a shit in the shower, and then
oh God.
And then the other guys in the hall yelled at me. I did it as a prank, so I had to go in and take it out like I was a dog.
Couple of complaints. Canes are the biggest motherfuckers in the world. They just lean it against the counter, smash on the ground every single time.
Yeah.
I got to get one of those with the 4 feet, which is the most pathetic looking thing ever.
Little tennis balls on it.
Those old guys know what they're doing. I had a walker for the first day, but I was doing really well, and I'll move this along. I'm almost done. I was doing really well, and then last night, real swelling. I don't think I was as good of keeping it elevated, and then fever, and that kept me up last night, and I kept taking it. Meanwhile, whatever. I didn't get to a dangerous level, but it was 3 degrees higher than when the nurse visited me at home yesterday. So, but I was 97.1 or whatever when she visited. So I was, 100.5. That's it. I'm rambling.
Is Olivia taking care of you?
That's italicized, I would say, for the most part.
Is she cooking you meals?
She rolls her eyes. She is asking me, do you mind if I come home later? And of course I just say yes. Of course I just say no, stay out. Of course, stay out. Yeah. No, my mom came over. That was great with meals. And yeah, all good. Sister Laura took me there. had to wait 5 hours, 6 hours, really, I think. It was great that she did that on a work day.
Nice.
Yeah. So get this. You ready? And maybe someone can chime in from home. Nurse comes here because it's outpatient surgery. So their model is, let's get you out of this place where you can get infections and all that. Let's get you home, especially while you're still on the major drugs. So you leave like almost right after surgery. Come home. Nurse visits the next day. So does physical therapy. Nurse goes to me. So what are you taking? Let's see your whole, your chart of drugs and how you're going to take them all. And then so I said, yeah. And I go, and I find last time I had this habit, Advil was really good. She's like, all right, you have to be careful with Advil because there's aspirin in it. And I look at her, I'm like, oh, I don't think that's true because I'm also have to take baby aspirin for clotting, right? And I'm like, I don't think, she's like, oh, yes. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I also have in my drawer from like another surgery or whatever, I have like just strict ibuprofen. And she goes, oh, no, ibuprofen has aspirin in it. I'm like, I don't. So she talked me to a lower rate of Advil, which I think is why I swelled up so much last night and everything. According to all of Google, there's no aspirin in Advil. Maybe someone could write in and let us know.
Maybe you've got one of those nurses that kills people. She enjoys patients being in pain, and then she kills them.
Maybe, or maybe just the pain. From Ireland.
I like a good Irish nurse.
I don't think I do. Yours were good over in Ireland when you were in there for allergies.
All right, so let's talk about literally anything else except for your hip being replaced.
All right, wait. Let's see. I had some funny stuff up top.
I saw the Van Gogh immersive exhibit in Los Angeles. And,
thank God you didn't pay for it.
Did not pay for it. It was a gift from one of our listeners, a former listener. I don't think she listens any longer. And a very sweet woman who was very generous to us. But then she came. Well, whatever. I don't need to get into the whole story. But anyway, so we went to the exhibit, and thank God, me and the wife smoked a fatty before we went into it. You have to. And it was amazing. I mean, Van Gogh's so amazing. But you sit in a room, and they put slides on the wall of his paintings, and they play music. It lasts about an hour, and it costs about $125.
It costs a third the price to see real Van Goghs.
Yes.
In fact, actually, I take that back. To see a real Van Gogh, and I'm talking a home run, irises, I guess, free at the Getty.
Yeah.
And this piece of shit, it's all about Instagram. Basically what you're doing is you're taking selfies in front of the most famous selfie on planet Earth, which is Van Gogh's self-portrait.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, that's true.
And it's all set up for that. I was miserable. I was miserable.
Did you see the Van Gogh one?
I saw the Van Gogh, which is a giant room with a slideshow with tons of real exit signs in the middle of his paintings.
Yeah. But yeah, so what?
Terrible.
Oh, and also I want to talk about Springsteen was on Stern this week. Holy shit! Do you have Sirius XM?
No, do you have a deal for me? I'm going to sign up.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. I know you had it for years when we had a show.
I did. When we were DJs there, man.
We were DJs on Stern's channel for 10 years. And so it was so in depth, and yet he was like disarming. Like I felt like, obviously Bruce was pulling from his one man show. There was a lot of stuff stories that he was telling,
which pulled from his book.
And which was pulled from his book, right. But he also, Stern hit him with some really interesting in-depth questions. He talked a lot about music and about, how he strings his guitar and chords. And it was like pretty like, inside baseball about music. But it was amazing. It was fucking riveting. It's been so long since I have sat in my car for an hour outside my house listening to an interview.
Everyone I've heard says the same thing, that it was really, really great.
So great. And it made Stern come back in the studio. He had not been in the studio since before the pandemic started. He's like become a germaphobe. And
I didn't know that.
He asked Springsteen to do it. And Springsteen said, I'll do your show, but only if you come into the studio. And so
you know why?
Because
he's the boss.
He's the boss. That's right.
Let me wipe this camera down.
And then
look at me now.
we got a lot of emails last week of, I go through all the emails and I kind of spare you. I don't forward them to you anymore because I just got the feeling you didn't really want to read them. But let me know if you want to read them. I will send them on to you.
Sure. I like criticism. In fact, I don't feel like I don't feel this is real without being torn apart about it.
I mean, we get tons of love. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the emails. But a lot of people saying, like, it's not funny to talk about blank. Fuck you. We talk about whatever the fuck we want. Anything can be interesting or funny. And you don't dictate the show. So if you
By
have
the way,
some
that's
kind
Greg's opinion, not mine. I will talk about whatever you guys want, and I'll stop talking about whatever you want, unless it's the Jews.
So thank you for writing in, but some of you can stop.
Yeah. Listen,
I mean, they either yell that we're liberal douchebags because, look, we got a lot of listeners that come from my appearances on Rogan, on Stern, on Corolla, on a lot of audiences that skew a little more to the right. And so we really go out of our way not to alienate those people. But then some people will still say, you say one thing that skews a little bit Democratic, and you're suddenly they throw all the words at you. You're a snowflake. You're a sheep. You're a liberal douche. It's just like, and then the other people are saying that the government's being blown up right now, and we're sitting back and not saying anything about it, and we should take a stand.
I know.
This show isn't really about taking a stand.
Why are these people so political? And why are, like, even Joe Rogan's, like, there's some damage there that they're so angry and, I guess independent leaning, and they need to identify that way for some strong reason that it paints everything in their world. I don't know what it is.
It just seems like it would dominate your life. I mean, all the news feeds you have to read and all the Fox News you have to watch and all the and for what? All you're doing is fucking you're not engaging me in a conversation. If somebody writes a note and says, "I hear what you're saying, but consider this point of view as well." I'm all ears. But if you want to name call, save it. I don't need to fucking hear it.
Yeah. But here's the good news. We don't really care.
We don't care.
So there you go.
I'm in San Francisco. I did having great crowds are coming out. It doesn't feel fair to do stand-up comedy at the San Francisco Punchline. It is such an amazing club. The crowds, I don't know what it is. They come in. They can take a punch. You can do the craziest jokes. They go with you. They laugh. They fucking clap. They're just amazing.
And the country wouldn't guess that. They would think it was woke central.
It's not at all. It's not at all.
It's great.
And then these two guys came out from high school. These two guys I went to high school with.
No way.
That I have not seen since 1984 showed up. Gary Norman and Kornfeld. What's his first name? Michael. We just call him Korn. And they came out. And it was so great to see them. And they were so I was fucking with them from the stage. I was talking to them. And he reminded me that they were at my very first stand-up comedy show, which was a talent show my senior year of high school.
No. At Rye?
What's in high school? Yeah.
In Rye Country Day.
Yeah. And so
wow.
I was making fun of there was a teacher named Mr. Koskouris who was sleeping with the art teacher, Miss Schlatter. And they would always chaperone all the school trips. And then they would fuck.
Wait, sorry?
Yeah. And so I was talking about that on stage, and then they unplugged my microphone from backstage.
Who did?
So the principal, Mr. Godfrey, Dr. Godfrey. And so I screamed the rest of my set, and I had done
Bob Dylan in Newport.
I had done a fair amount of cocaine that night, and so I came out of the stage door and I was just jumping up and down. I was like, I couldn't tell if it was the cocaine or the stand-up, but it was a moment where I went like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. Imagine getting that moment as a senior in high school. What a gift.
Yeah, it was amazing. But
that's great.
Yes, it was great to see these guys.
Very cool.
Yeah.
While on Vicodin, I had two comedy thoughts. Let's see if there's anything here.
Okay.
You can't put a diving board in your home swimming pools like almost anywhere anymore because of
Is that true?
insurance. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah, diving boards. Maybe Chris can look it up. They're illegal in many, many cities, I think, because also maybe it's not technically illegal, but insurance will not insure your home.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, because of the surgery, I got thinking, and I walked by a pool recently that has that device that lowers handicapped people into the pool.
Right.
So you can get that insured. So I want to hear the phone call. All right, listen. The able-bodied, very often athletic people who are going to just, jump off a diving board into my pool, not a chance. Will not insure it. But the mechanism that by definition lowers someone who can't use many of his limbs and is a guaranteed drown if he ever wound up using it himself. That is fine.
It's like a dunk tank.
Yeah. And he probably already did the diving board, and now you're going to insure this second step where he finishes the job. All right, there's that one. This other one isn't as strong, but more than once I have written heroes, and it came out herpes, and those two words are way too close together on the keyboard, the O and the P.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, my heroes are fine, or my childhood herpes. Like, yeah, they're too close.
Yeah, yeah.
We all need herpes, and my childhood herpes were, I think, the best. And my heroes are back, and I'm furious. I think I might have some heroes in my ass. Anyway, again, those are Vicodin.
We could be herpes if just for one day.
Yes. I've never heard of herpes that lasts for only one day, but Bowie has.
There we go. Mike Gibbons bringing a little comedy, stand-up comedy to the podcast.
I would call it Vicodin comedy, maybe. Ox comedy.
All right, let's talk about the logo this week from Craig Godet. Very funny. It's
very funny. Look at us.
It's Ellen.
Oh, man,
and
it's disturbing.
Ellen and James Corden. By the way,
I didn't know that was James Corden.
You are James Corden in
Yeah.
that photo. But by the way, can we talk about the blow up with Corden this week?
Yeah, I have some inside information on that.
All right. Well, I'll give you the outside information, then you
Okay.
give me the inside information.
Okay.
So basically, Corden did a joke that was word for word from Ricky Gervais's last stand-up special.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't like the kind of joke where you go, well, it's parallel thinking. They both thought it's like a really weird conceptual bit.
So, yeah, okay, right. Yeah. And
so
the
he
hand
did it,
gestures,
and then
everything.
it was pointed out to him, and then he apologized. And it was unclear, and maybe this is your inside information, it was unclear whether Corden came up with the bit or decided to do the bit, or one of his writers gave it to him and he didn't know. What happened?
So I don't know this to be gospel truth, so I guess this is my opinion, but it is from Intel.
By the way, how funny is the phrase gospel truth? Nothing in the gospel is anything close to true.
Virgin birth, gospel
I used
truth.
to do a joke about that. Like, why is it when you go to court, you got to put your hand on a Bible to swear you'll tell the truth? If you want me to tell the truth, don't put my hand on a book of lies. Put it on my Prius. Put it on my Prius owner's manual. Because that shit is exactly right. It's the correct oil I should be using, the tire pressure. And if it's wrong, guess what they do? They change it to next year's manual. They update it so it's true.
How about put it on the legal piece of paper that tells you how long you go to jail for perjury?
Right.
What about that one?
Yeah.
You might want to read it. Not only touch it, read it.
Yeah.
So let's just call this my opinion, but I do think it's right, and I've talked to a bunch of people. So their show, since the pandemic, got a lot looser up top, which is actually something I wanted to do out of the gate, and when I was head writer and helping him create the show. And so, because he's very good off the cuff, despite this story. So anyway, they're very loose, and they talk about things, and then a lot of times that then gets cut down in post. The show airs that night, and they only have an hour and a half or whatever to cut down the show. And a lot of that gets cut down, but he'll just be like, oh my God, did you hear when Chappelle commented on that? And then of course it's cut that out of the show, but he'll credit, like it really is like you and I talk. And then this one, he did not, don't get me wrong, he did not credit Gervais. I will say Gervais is clearly not a fan, and is on record is not a fan of James Corden's. He slammed him in the Globes, and he slammed him on his Netflix show, and I think in other times. But Corden, despite that, is a fan of Gervais and does the most unbelievable Gervais impression. And so I think, it was not written, and he clearly had seen that and ingested it. And then it came out as they were talking about, I think it was about Twitter, because it was in the news, and how, just don't tear apart a tweet if you don't like it. You know what I mean? Just move on. But he really embodied Gervais and did the same. I noticed hand gestures even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also Corden is absolutely the fastest study I've ever worked with. I've never worked. I mean,
it's phenomenal how he knows the words to all these songs.
Oh, dude, we had Carrie Underwood on. He did not know he didn't even know Carrie Underwood on Carpool Karaoke. He put a Walkman on, and I saw him walking around the CBS roof. Came back and was singing every word with her.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I think it got ingested, and I'm not defending him. Someone should have flagged it and all that, but I believe that is exactly how it happened.
And then somebody put out a clip on we have a text chain, and somebody put out a clip of who's the other British comic, Lee?
Dude, he's one of my that guy's one of my favorite. Yeah, Lee. I'll get in a minute. I put that on there.
And he fucking slams Corden. He must have left England because he was so disliked by the comedy community.
No. It's just, listen, the real comics, James is not a stand-up. The real comics, it's Stuart Lee.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping through Netflix and I see this British comic, but what got me was, and I'm forgetting his name, or whatever, he created Veep. He's the producer. Before Veep, Stuart Lee and this guy created this stand-up series. I bought it, by the way, and maybe I'll buy it for you because I don't want to rip off Stuart Lee because he sells it on his website. But it was on Netflix when I first saw it. And they'll do interviews where he's just Iannucci or whatever his name is tearing Stuart Lee apart. Any real comedy fans out there who want to see a super intelligent stand-up, who can do the things that get annoying and then it's funny again, that type of stuff. He's amazing. And this was a series of 6 different shows where he would do stand-up intercut with interviews, and they were great. And it was
with Armando Iannucci?
Yes, Armando Iannucci did it with him. He, in fact, was the interviewer on those interviews.
Yeah. Well, it was tough. It was because the worst part is his joke is James Corden's a big fan of mine. I don't reciprocate. It's wow, that's fucking harsh.
Oh, it gets worse than that.
Yeah.
He's imagine James Corden listening to my comedy. He's that's like a dog listening to classical music. So listen, while I saw it on Netflix, I had just started on the Late Late Show. So I come in, I had not seen that dig against Corden. I had just found Stuart Lee, and I come in, I go to the Brits. I'm working with tons of Brits at Corden. I'm like, dude, I'm probably years behind on this, but Stuart Lee, and then they look around and close the door.
Oh, shit.
They're like, yeah, maybe don't bring up to James. I'm like, okay, but James really did like him too.
Damn.
He had a great line. He's a great writer. He had a great line when James moved, because he had just moved here to do the Late Late Show. And he goes, well, Britain's loss is Americans' loss also.
This week's song, catchy little ditty from Ryan X. Thank you, Ryan. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was very cool. Homemade,
grassroots. We got some corrections here. Couldn't agree more that the Bazooka Joe comedy bit is hilarious. However, that one is Bob Odenkirk's and not Michael Keaton's. I
remember that.
You're right. I don't know. I know how you enjoy being corrected. From Barry J. Crow. But here's what I wrote back to Barry. I said, you're 100% wrong. It was Michael Keaton, and I sent him a clip. Well, first he sent me the Bob Odenkirk clip, and it's Bob Odenkirk doing the same bit Michael Keaton did 10 years earlier.
No.
which is on stage reading a Bazooka Joe comic. I mean, I don't think he stole it from him, but it's the same fucking bit. They both do it. And the worst part is, here's the thing about Odenkirk is a goddamn brilliant actor, writer, director, all that. I never liked his stand-up because he used to come in to like Largo and he would do these routines that were just shitting on stand-up comedians, like satirizing them in this very mean-spirited way. And
I agree.
The bit he was doing was exactly that. He was playing like a hacky comedian. But the irony is he was stealing a bit from Michael Keaton, who did that bit in a very unhacky way. Who did it? He was talking about existentialism and Bazooka Joe. It was like a brilliant bit. And I just hate when alt comics try to shit on guys that actually go out on the road and make a living telling jokes to people that fucking work real jobs.
No, I'm with you. I think that was part of the time where they were trying to self-identify as the alternative comedy scene. You know what I mean? And so part of that, sadly, was punching at traditional stand-up.
Matthew Tronchiletti, who's a friend of the show, said Gibbons was floored by the irony of the staunch anti-helmet guy dying in a motorcycle crash without a helmet. That is literally the opposite of irony. That is exactly what you would expect to happen in that situation and is therefore a coincidence and not ironic. Is Mike a big Alanis Morissette fan? And I wrote back, you're saying that a guy who's saying you don't need a helmet to ride safely on a motorcycle dying from head injuries on a motorcycle is not irony? That's exactly irony.
Well, yes. So there's a couple types of irony. Like one is, well, if the thing is expected to happen, like, you know, if you kind of close to the Alanis Morissette, if you bring out an umbrella and then it rains, you know, that's not ironic. So that's, I think, what he's saying. But especially dramatic irony, I mean, I think the number, and it comes from Greek tragedy. It's named after a character. I think the ultimate ironic example is Oedipus. So Oedipus was, everyone knew he was going to fuck his mom. The audience, the readers knew he was going to kill his dad and fuck his mom. He didn't. He was fully under the impression on this mission. He had his helmet on and was not going to fuck his mom. And sure enough, he did. And so that is dramatic irony. But I appreciate Matthew writing in.
Yeah, I think
it's also ironic, I think, that he was writing in trying to correct me by fucking writing gibberish. I'm kidding, Matthew.
Mark Gowitzer said Velma, not Thelma. I was talking about how Velma is the character on Scooby-Doo who is now an out lesbian.
Oh, right.
Remember her
the
glasses,
V is for vagina.
Her glasses steamed up when she saw a girl. And then my joke was, and then she traded in the mystery van for a Subaru Legacy Outback.
There it is.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Did that in my stand-up last night. Got a big laugh.
There it is.
Speaking of my stand-up, I'm going to be coming to Tampa Bay, Florida, November 17th to the 19th at Side Splitters, great club. Oklahoma City on December 1st. Fort Worth, Texas, Hyenas on December 2nd and 3rd. Go to fitzdog.com, get yourself some tickets. Also, let's talk to you about our good friends over at Rex MD. Look, guys. Look, we've all had erectile dysfunction issues at some point in our life. Some guys don't want to talk about it, but for some people, it's something they want to do something about. Can I say something more? And you don't want to see a doctor. It can be a pain in the butt. It takes all day.
You don't want to see a flaccid penis when you want it to be hard.
That's right. Rex
MD
MD makes
around
it
the bush there.
Yeah, you don't want getting hard shouldn't be hard. That should be their slogan.
Hello. You just nailed it.
Rex MD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver to your door. No office visits. No talking to a receptionist. It's super simple. If she's hot, maybe then you don't need the Viagra.
That's not the issue.
The issue is also cost, because normally it can be $90 a pill. Rex MD has generic Viagra for as low as $2 a pill. You fill out a little questionnaire on the website. The doctor reviews the situation, prescribes you what's appropriate. Gets shipped to your door. Free 2-day shipping. It's fast, simple, and cheap, and you can access your U.S. licensed RX MD physician anytime you need afterwards. They've helped over 300,000 guys. It works. The very first night, starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners and viewers, but you've got to go to rexmd.com/papers to get started. That's rexmd.com/papers. Go to rexmd.com/papers today to get started with a starter pack prescription of generic Viagra or Cialis. All orders come with free 2-day shipping. RexMD, the authority in men's health.
There it is.
It shouldn't be hard to get hard.
Yep.
Don't be flaccid. Take action.
So close.
You got a paper to crinkle?
Oh, boy, do I. Look at this little wrapping paper.
Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
All right. Front page. Take it away.
A cisgender woman
I'm already
harassed another
confused.
cisgender woman with short hair in the public restroom of the Rampart Casino in Las Vegas because she thought she was transgender. The short-haired woman, who goes by Creating J. Rose on the video sharing app TikTok, recorded the incident and shared details of what happened next. She says she was getting a lawyer to sue the woman and the casino over what happened.
What?
I mean, look, it happens. I once yelled at Ellen.
You did.
But she was in the men's room. So, I mean, that was,
It sounds to me, what doesn't happen in Vegas stays in Vegas. What is this story even?
It's
Two
a
women
story
yelled at each other in the bathroom?
I guess the woman was yelling at her to get out of the bathroom because she thought she was transgender, and she was in the. First of all, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
What's she gonna do? Are you afraid you're gonna get attacked by somebody in the bathroom? Here's what you do: you're in the bathroom, take a shit, fart and shit. Nobody's gonna bother you. It's like bear spray.
You're also filming her.
You're also you got her on film.
It's ridiculous. Women. Cis women.
It's a litigious society we're in right now.
Oh, I can't wait till a lawyer drops that case. Doesn't even hear all of it.
Do we want to read this Twitter?
Well, one thing I thought was funny. Everyone knows the Twitter story now. He's going to charge $8 for a monthly subscription, right? And then
if you want your blue check, if you want to be verified, you're now going to have to pay $8 a month.
Right. So what I liked was, did you see where Stephen King tweeted him?
No.
Stephen King tweeted Elon Musk, $20 a month to keep my blue check. Fuck that. They should pay me. If that gets instituted, I'm gone like Enron. And then he got a reply from Elon. We need to pay the bills somehow, ! Twitter cannot rely entirely on advertisers. How about $8? So I guess like Stephen King's worth 500 million and, Musk is worth however many billion, and they're haggling over $12.
I love it. I love it. I got my check. I'll tell you, the check system is a little bit elitist. I mean, I had like 90,000 followers and I didn't have a check. And so I wrote to them and I asked them for a check. And apparently when you do that, they will not give you a check. If you ask for one, they won't give it to you. They act like they're some fucking nightclub, some hip nightclub. Here's the thing, Twitter, you're not hip. You are the least hip social media app. You are going by the wayside, and you should, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I was Irish.
Probably. Once more, that discrimination. But Stephen King also brought up a good point. He referenced Huckleberry Finn, who was getting paid by his friends for them to paint his grandmother's fence, right? Or his aunt's fence or whatever it was, And it's like, yes, Stephen King is supplying you with content. You're going to charge him for supplying your technology with content?
Right.
And everybody else. I posted this. I retweeted, ironically. Maybe not ironically. Calm down, Matthew. Rob Kaczynski was on the EastEnders, a comedy guy. And he goes, years ago, before verified accounts were a thing, back when I was on the EastEnders, I was contacted multiple times by parents of children who had been conversing with me online, 11 to 15-year-old children that had been talking with a fake me. I was informed one of these children went missing. I didn't have social media at the time. I didn't understand it. Anyway, he goes on about there was actually a purpose for verifying people because there's so many scams.
Right.
Anyway, and he goes
Good
into
point.
it. He defends that obviously if they sell it to you, they're going to make sure it's you. But anyway, he made a good point with that I had never thought of.
I could live without Twitter. I put stuff on Instagram and it gets a lot more traffic than it does on Twitter. I find Twitter's kind of dead. It doesn't really, you don't get that response that you do from other social media.
My kids and all their friends, none of them are on Facebook, of course. And I mean, obviously Instagram is the exception, but none of them are on old school Facebook and none of them are on Twitter.
Right. Speaking of Twitter, Hitler.
Oh.
A man who drew national attention and condemnation for wearing an Adolf Hitler costume was fired from his job at the Madison Children's Museum on Tuesday night. Museum officials say the man's costume was completely unacceptable and runs counter to everything the museum believes. You mean like depicting things that happened in history? Statements from the Children's Museum and Madison police said the man has cognitive disabilities.
Right.
So
Sounds like a pretty good Hitler to me.
Yeah, right? He really went deep into the character.
Method.
I mean, it runs counter to everything the museum believes. How about believing in cutting a guy with intellectual disabilities a break for one bad judgment call? Could that be something you believe in?
Also, listen, this is just fact. Hitler adored most children.
Most of them, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And also, as far as costumes go, is the devil not more evil than Hitler? The devil's killed half the people. According to my Catholic upbringing, half the people go to hell. That's way worse than...
Is it only half? No,
probably
not
more.
In the world.
Yeah. Well, if you're not Catholic, so yeah, probably...
I think half the Catholics go to hell if they haven't totally accepted or repented or, or maybe they're stuck in purgatory. Whatever the story is.
Yeah. All right, give me a crinkle.
Crinkle time.
Good news for Gibbons.
I love it. I got to hear about him up there.
Well, as people know, Gibbons grew up in Mill Valley, which is a rich town just north of San Francisco. And he heard I was coming up here, so he took a trip for the weekend so we could hang out and he could do a spot. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fill your show for you." He goes, "I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna we're gonna pack the place."
I can already hear him screaming, "I did not say that."
And so he goes, "All right, but I want it." I go, "Why don't you do Thursday or Friday?" He goes, "No, I want to do Saturday early show." It's like, first of all, Saturday early show sells out. It always sells out. I don't need help selling tickets on Saturday early show. And then he starts sending me his guest list. He's got like 14 people on the guest list. Guess what that means? I don't get paid for those tickets. He's doing the opposite of packing the place.
Yeah.
He's taking away tickets that I would be selling that would go into my pocket.
Oh, Gibbons.
So that his cousins can sit out there for free.
What is this ride from the airport?
Oh, and he's going to do 10 minutes of stand-up. I guess I should mention that.
Oh, yeah, wait. What am I saying? God, I'm so spaced out on these drugs. This is going down tonight.
Yeah, this is tonight.
Wow, sorry. I missed that entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear an update next week. I cannot wait to hear how it goes.
I'm going to record his set. I'm going to play some clips from his set. He's a good comic. I mean, Dennis cracks me up, and he's
a very good comic. He's not very into preparing.
No.
He likes to feel it, and boy, when he does feel a room and nails it, there's nothing better.
Yeah, he's really good on the roll. And then talk about the ride to the airport with Mikey Fitz.
Oh, we were going to do that, right. No, well, that they've already gotten so angry. He asked for, it's just typical Gibbons of getting very angry at Mikey about Mikey said he could pick him up. We shouldn't go into it because it's a he said, and it's a whole ordeal. Forget it.
Okay. All right.
What I in this section though, I would like, because it's our local section, so to speak. This morning I get a nice sweet text from my friend Dickie and Adrian that Rosie's Bagels was delivered downstairs. I had not placed an order, but they knew about my hip surgery.
Oh, very nice.
And then it took me, I had to ask Olivia 3 times just to go downstairs and get it. There's an elevator.
Don't forget Rosie's Bagels LA. If you live on the west side and you want to get some delicious homemade Montreal-style bagels with spreads and lox and whatever else you need, it's cheap. It comes to your door, but it's only on Sunday mornings.
And I plan to shit them out next Thursday.
Hey now.
Yeah.
Give me a crinkle.
This is going better than I thought it would.
Here we are
actually.
in the entertainment section. What's going on with Better Call Saul?
Okay, so I finished it.
Nice.
And I was underwhelmed, but
you always are. You're always underwhelmed by finales.
I'm not. Come on, I rave about things on here. I can't stop talking about Silence of the Lambs, and I give it up for great shows. No, but there was a but. There's a caveat. I didn't watch Better Call Saul appropriately. I watched it over a 6-year period or something ridiculous, and not even like year to year. Like I split up seasons with a year in between viewing. Episodes 6 and 7. Anyway, after it ended, I'm like, what was that? So I found this. I should give this guy props. I found this YouTube breakdown, and it turns out this guy does it for all these shows. I have never seen a more astute breakdown, like a Shakespearean analysis of one of Shakespeare's plays. He was like, did you notice when they were leaning against the wall in the prison and like all the shadows like went this way? That's calling back to that defining moment when they were opening their office and all the shadows.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to send it to you because you did really appreciate the ending. What I realized is, man, shame on me. This show was it took its time, a little more than I liked, but it was very, very much into characters and theme. And
yes.
I missed a lot of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there.
It's Bob Odenkirk's best work since he stole that bit from Michael Keaton. Big news.
Oh, I saw Michael Keaton. I watched Jackie Brown for the first time. He's in that.
What'd you think of it?
Jackie Brown sucks, and maybe I need that guy to tell me why it's good. I think it sucked. It was so long, and it was about one heist, and it was all like him explaining. No, but it was all, you could just hear Tarantino through his characters, which sometimes works really well. But it was all like, no, but then why wouldn't she take the bag? Like it was almost like he had gotten notes and put the notes in there, like why his thing wasn't airtight, the heist,
Yeah, I think that I think it wasn't his best movie. I think it was the first one our buddy Billy Clark was the first AD on. I think up until then he'd been the second AD. And
Robert Forster, though, there's something about him, man. You just can't stop looking at him. He's the old school. He was the next Tarantino, that Tarantino plucked from obscurity, but, he was a great actor back in the day. And God, he has a magnetism about him. I will say that.
Yeah. Gibbons is now texting me, yo, bro, is there grub there? Can I get food before the show? Oh, my God. Julia Roberts, big news.
Oh, yeah.
A Georgia native
racist.
and daughter of acting teachers, Julia Roberts revealed during an interview with Gayle King recently that civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Coretta Scott King were responsible for paying for the hospital bill after the actor was born. The Kings knew Walter and Betty Lou Roberts. Coretta Scott King had enrolled their children in the acting school run by the parents. The acting school was one of the only schools in the region at the time that was willing to accept King's children due to the color of their skin. Isn't that amazing? Gayle King noted that the idea that black children were interacting with white students had a profound impact on Roberts, as she has become a welcoming person of all races and ethnicities. In an infamous moment while filming Sleeping with the Enemy in the South in the early 1990s, Roberts was caught that she believed a South Carolina community was horribly racist due to a restaurant in the town's refusal to serve a black friend of hers. Their comment resulted in a bit of controversy when the Pretty Woman star's career was reaching its peak.
This story so confused me. So a restaurant in the 1990s refused to serve a black friend of hers, and she tried to make a comment that no one would hear. And is that taking a stand? Like what?
Yeah. She also said Stalin was a bad guy, and
But whispered it.
Yeah.
I mean, do I have this right? Was there any world in the 1990s in what state was this? Sorry,
Georgia.
In Georgia, her home state, that had a right to discriminate because it was private? No.
Right.
No way.
And also, let's back this up. Let's back up the truck. Beep, beep, beep. Do we really believe this happened? Yeah, you're right. And Gandhi pick up the check when my parents ate at none of the above on East 6th Street.
None of the above. Did that really exist?
Yeah, I looked up funny names for Indian restaurants online.
Oh, my God. That's a great one. That's perfect.
Cheryl Burke claims her ex-boyfriend once whipped her with a belt in front of his parents, whom she said did nothing to help. The Dancing with the Stars pro detailed the alleged graphic experience on Red Table Talk with host Jada Pinkett Smith and blah, blah, blah. Discussed trauma bonding at length. In high school, I'll never forget it. The person I was with on and off for about 4 years whipped me with a belt. I would keep that off.
And she kept coming back.
Yeah. I had bruises all over my legs. I remember his parents were watching it, didn't do anything. And it wasn't like he was hitting me. He was whipping me.
I bet they did something. I bet the dad ran and got salve and some gauze and started masturbating.
Yes. Jerking with the parents.
Yeah.
Jada was like, you think that's trauma? I know a comedian that got the shit slapped out of him on national TV. That's
just
nothing.
For making a joke that wasn't even that mean. He called me beautiful.
All right, let's make America Florida.
I love this one. Here we go. I have the energy to read this one. A man, I found this story. It's not like, a hard joke, but it was casually made me laugh. A man casually carrying a shotgun walked into a Florida convenience store during an attempted robbery. Rakeem Stephen Tate, 32, walked around the store for a few seconds before a clerk is heard talking to him. The clerk apparently noticed Tate arming himself before he entered the store and went into a back room and he armed himself. Tate is heard asking the employee, "What kind of weapon you got?" The employee responds and Tate says, "I'm from Chicago, bro." He then says, "I don't mean no harm. I'm just not from around here," before he slowly walks out of the store. Tate was arrested soon after. This is not a joke. This was in the article. Tate was arrested soon after, and the police pulled him over and goes, "You're not in Chicago anymore. You're under arrest."
It's like the Wizard of Oz, except now Dorothy's on methamphetamines, which as I am right now as well.
"I'm from Chicago, bro." Like, all right, I'm not going to take any Skittles. I'm just going to walk out of here peaceful. What kind of gun do you have?
I love
crazy.
Only in Florida do you casually walk around with a shotgun in a convenience store. It's casual.
Unbelievable. I'm not from here. I don't know how it works here.
Yeah. Let's do some sports.
You got it.
All right, let's skip that one. All right, let's just talk about it. The Bucks are now. There was no game this week because they had that Thursday game. So you're now up $200, and this weekend, playing the Rams in Tampa Bay, and the Buccaneers are giving them 3 points. I mean, if
What?
this game had happened at the beginning of the season, they'd be giving the Rams like 11 points.
Wait. You're not saying Tampa Bay's favored, are you?
Yep.
That seems. I know I don't follow sports too well. Are the Rams that average? What's happening?
They're pretty average. They've
okay.
dropped a lot of games. I think they're about
Rams,
500.
Buccaneers. Let's see here. Anyway, whatever. We'll confirm it, but whatever the line is at game time, as we know. But that seems like I'm going up 250.
This is getting ugly. And meanwhile, the divorce proceedings are over. Like they already are divorced. That's fucking quick. That's like in 2 weeks they got separated. And I mean, you got to think about the assets that they're splitting up. How did they even figure that out in 2 weeks?
I just found the odds. Yeah, 3 yards. So yeah, there it is. But yes, we're correct. You're correct in the odds. I know. You know what that made me think of was, I wonder what went wrong a few weeks ago because clearly the ink was already drying on that thing. You know what I mean? Like normally the real back and forth obviously is happening in the negotiating, and that seems like it was already done if they've filed.
Right.
I
mean, Jesus, your divorce took years.
Well, we didn't rush it either. Like we were low priority because we were, what's it called? Mediating and stuff like that. So we were also low priority, but also the back then, it was a comedy getting the lawyers free times to align.
Yeah.
Be like, no, not next week. What about the week after? I can only do Wednesday. I can't. What about the week after? Like it happened every time.
I love it. And you're paying those people $600 an hour.
Yeah, not me, but she was. Mine was cheaper.
Let's go to international.
And it showed. Okay.
Well, a grandmother's loved one's worst fears were confirmed after her remains were found inside a 22-foot-long snake in Indonesia.
What? Those were their worst. I hope they had those fears started when they saw a fat snake, and that wasn't just their fears in life.
Yeah, right. Very Freudian to have that as your main fear. Her grim death at the hands of the python was revealed after villagers cut the serpent's bulging belly open. The family of Jara, 54-year-old grandmother. Jeez, they got to slow it down there in Indonesia a little bit.
I'm surprised the snake got her.
Thank God they have big snakes. Keep that population under control. She was collecting rubber from a plantation. It is thought that she was likely swallowed whole after being bitten and suffocated to death.
It turns out it is one of the top causes of death when you go into the plantation jungle to collect rubber.
Yes.
I looked it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it was their worst
Swallowed
fear.
whole. That's gross, man. And you just the image of that snake trying to get it down.
Yeah. I got to think because it probably, if you think about it, you're running from the snake. The snake is probably swallowing your legs first. So your head is alive as your body is being drawn into the snake's body.
I wonder. Well, first they make you dead. They suffocate you.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think, I don't know why I know this, but God, sometimes, and now it's going to because the algorithm hears me. My computer's on. So now I'm going to get my feed, so to speak, is going to get all these snake feedings on it. They might start with the head.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I don't know. It gets a little unwieldy if they start with one leg. Then he has to back it all up and go back and get the two
Denman wrote
legs.
it in here. Denman wrote it in. Snakes typically begin to eat a prey once it has been overpowered to the point where it can no longer struggle and potentially cause damage. Prey almost always swallow the head first, as this will cause the prey's limbs to fold against the torso.
So
all right.
gross.
All right. Well, Grandma's death wasn't that bad then. At least she went in head first.
poor snake, all that old person smell and the tissues up the sleeve and all the hard candies.
Oh, God. Yeah, and the
The
nylons.
reading glasses around the neck.
Try to digest nylons. Good luck, Snake.
Yeah. Forget it.
Here's a story about some younger women.
Oh.
Mariana Varela, Miss Argentina, and Fabiola Valentine,
I hope
Miss
they
Puerto
swallowed
Rico,
some snakes.
announced they tied the knot on Instagram.
Ugh.
Valentine added the caption, "After deciding to keep our relationship private, we opened the doors to them on a special day. The two pageant winners met at Miss Grand International in 2020 and started dating in secret, although they have regularly posted photos together with very gay captions." Well, that's a honeymoon video that might get some traction.
Yeah. Were they competing against each other?
I don't know, but I would imagine whoever won gets serviced first in that relationship.
It's some sexy countries there. Puerto Rico and Venezuela for sure. Argentina, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the hottest lesbian couple ever assembled. I'd have to go back to what was the lesbian scene with
In the pool?
Gina Gershon.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know that one.
Anyway, this is
You're not thinking of the one from Wild Things or Wild...
no, that was good
right.
too. But no, there was
I was
Devin,
never
look
rah
that
rah
up. Gina
over
Gershon
lesbian
lesbian
scenes.
scene. What movie that was? She was with another hottie.
Are you mistaken Larry David for a woman because they had a scene?
Bound.
Oh yeah,
Jennifer
Jennifer Tilly.
And who was she with? Jennifer Tilly and who else?
Gina.
Yeah, and Gina Gershon. Oh my God, that was good. Anyway, title of the next story is Kaputin. Vladimir Putin does have early stage Parkinson's disease and pancreatic cancer. Leaked spy documents have alleged in the latest unverified claim. The Russian leader has been plagued with rumors about his illness for months and has regularly appeared twitching and unsteady in public, sparking hope in Ukraine and the West. The despot could soon relinquish power.
Hope. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to gently relinquish power. I'm sure I doubt his shaky finger is going to be on the launch button and take things a very different way.
Yeah, right. This is not going to change anything. Michael J. Fox did 3 movies last year. I think this guy can run a simple illegal war.
It is very simple.
Well, he's not in the country, so that he's just calling the shots. The trouble is he can't get any fucking soldiers. He's trying to. They put out an order for 300,000 soldiers, and the men just started leaving the country. People are not into this. This is not going the way he had hoped.
Who does Russia think they are? America?
Right?
That's exactly what would happen here.
Let's do some This Day in History.
There it is.
Okay, 1962, the UN condemns apartheid. I always say apartheid. Some people say apartheid. What do you say?
I think it might be I say apartheid, but I don't know if I'm right.
All right. So the UN General Assembly adopts a resolution condemning South Africa's racist apartheid policies, calling on all its members to end economic and military relations with the country. From 1948 to 1993, apartheid, which comes from the Afrikaans word for apartness, was government-sanctioned racial segregation and political and economic discrimination against South Africa's non-white majority. Among many injustices, black South Africans were forced to live in segregated areas and couldn't enter whites-only neighborhoods unless they had a special pass.
They also couldn't lunch with Julia Roberts.
Right.
Yeah.
Although white South Africans represented only a small fraction of the population, they held the vast majority of the country's land and wealth. Following the 1960 massacre of unarmed demonstrators in Sharpeville near Johannesburg, 69 black people were killed and over 180 were injured. The international movement to end apartheid gained wide support. Do you remember at BU it was a big deal? I used to go to a lot of marches. We had a lot because our our university, who was run by the president, John Silber, was heavily invested in South Africa, and the students demanded that they divest. And I remember doing a lot of marches, and eventually they divested.
There was also all the musicians got together across the globe to ban or to boycott Sun City.
Sun City.
And what band went against the boycott and played there? Queen. When did they do it? Right before We Are the World. The end of that movie. And when they did We Are the World, or whatever, what was it? What was the big concert? Not We Are the World. Live Aid. When they did Live Aid also, he did not know he had AIDS. Don't get me started on the Queen movie. What a piece of shit.
Especially the ending. Mike
and
hates
they loved apartheid. That's my take on it. It's a little strong, but they did go against the boycott, and that is why Geldof originally did not invite them to Live Aid, is because we view the world differently. You just went against the boycott and played Sun City.
I went to Sun City once after the boycott ended, and
trying to fire it up again.
It's a really fun. It's like a fun park. They have a water park there. And South Africa. Here's the thing about South Africa that strikes you is I've been there twice. There are no rules. There are no regulations. There's no signs. You just figure shit out. And if you die, you die. And
Australia was like that, I found. Yeah.
What was?
And I think South Africa more. But Australia was like, you guys haven't killed the tons of animals that can kill you like easily, like when you go for a hike.
Yeah.
Like, the insects, the most poisonous snakes in the world, and there's a lot less concern with being sued over there.
Yeah, so they had a wave pool at Sun City that was they put it on 11.
Like the one in New Jersey, like what was that one?
Yeah, it was exactly like that. I mean, it was packed shoulder to shoulder with people, and they would launch these waves that would send you flying in the air, landing on other bodies. It was insane.
That's great.
And then they had a restaurant at Sun City, and I remember it was called Carnivore, and they because it's right next to a game park in Pilanesberg, and they would come by with skewers to your table, and they would tell you what animal, because they were always thinning out the populations of the game park, and they'd be like, giraffe, sir, hippopotamus, sir, and like you would just grab a slab of fucking, crocodile and eat it. It was amazing.
White woman from England, sir?
All right. All right, let's do some letters to the editor.
Okay, then. All right. I am
All right,
barely
so
hanging
Meghan
on. This is a good truncation. I can feel the meds wearing off.
Matt in Brooklyn. Yeah, by the way, if we're speeding a little bit today, it's because Mike is not in good shape, and we're out of respect to his
This
old
went
age.
way better than I thought, even though it didn't really come with the jokes. But all right, let's do it.
This is Matt in Brooklyn. Meghan Markle was also in Horrible Bosses with Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, and Jason Sudeikis. This is coming off her criticism of being a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal. She was the UPS delivery person who Jason Sudeikis' character can't believe is real because she is too beautiful, and where are the hidden cameras? A lot more sexist than a briefcase girl.
Oh, well, I can't wait till she turns on Horrible Bosses.
Right?
She's going to call them horrible. FedEx
Denman
delivery.
is writing,
Okay.
correction, FedEx delivery.
He
Okay.
takes his Horrible Bosses trivia very seriously.
Keel Kennedy.
We love him.
Is that his real name? Keel Kennedy?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Kyle?
Please have
What do you
Gubbins on the
prefer?
show, at least once for reference. I know Mike was musing it might be fun to never have him on, and at least one audience member agreed. But why? It would only enhance the Good News for Gubbins segment going forward and will certainly not ruin it. The buildup has been long enough. Hearing you guys constantly lovingly bash him is hilarious and demands a response. Let him. Then we have a better frame of reference and will enjoy the next shit talk even more.
Ah.
All right.
Let's see how he does tonight.
He also wants to bring back Family Circus. So.
Oh, boy.
And he said, I said I was going to have Bunny Host on, who is the Lockhorns author, and I had gotten her on an email, and she said she'd do it. So I got to follow up on that.
Well, I appreciate them listening. He and Patty, it's so sweet.
And that's all, folks.
Obituary this week. Let's start with Takeoff, a rapper with the hip-hop trio Migos, known for hits including Bad and Bougie, died in a shooting at a bowling alley in Houston at the age of 28. Very sad. He formed Migos in Atlanta with his uncle and cousin. They had a hit, Versace. And anyway,
28.
it's very,
Jesus.
very
Yeah,
sad.
I don't know much about him, but I know it made a lot of news. I was saying before the podcast, some of these now, because I'm getting so old, and I'm old enough to remember when Kurt Cobain died in 60 Minutes. The last segment was, what's his name? Who did it? The last thought, Andy Rooney. Andy Rooney was kind of like, because it was such huge news, and he was like, what is so big about this news? He kind of like, and he wasn't gentle about it. And then it was the most mail 60 Minutes had ever received the next week, and he had to walk back his statements.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm admitting I'm feeling a little Andy Rooney-ish. Listen, I've heard of the Migos and all that, but I probably heard Versace, of course, but I don't know much about this gentleman.
My
It's just
son
very
is
sad.
a huge fan. Migos is his favorite hip hop band.
Right. Oh,
He's
wow.
Seen them many times. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Another quick one we want to mention is Thomas Cahill, who wrote the book How the Irish Saved Civilization, the untold story of Ireland's heroic role from the fall of Rome to the rise of medieval Europe. Great fucking book. And it was actually commissioned by, I believe it was commissioned by Jacqueline Kennedy.
Wow.
Who read an essay that he'd written and then commissioned him to write the book. And the book, it's an amazing story about how, when Rome fell, they burned all the Bibles. Like literally every Bible in Europe was burned.
Don't tell me Ireland saved the Bibles.
Ireland. You ever see the Book of Kells at
Trinity
Trinity
College?
College?
In Trinity College, sure.
Well, there were thousands of those books where these Irish monks would handwrite the Bible, and they say
What
it
a
saved
job.
civilization. It saved Catholicism or Christianity, I guess.
I'm mixed on that.
Yeah, well. All right, let's cheer up after all this sadness and do
Oh,
some
I didn't put a
Sunday
funny in.
funnies.
All right. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
First of all, a lot of people pointed out that John Oliver is stealing our thunder. He did a segment on This Week with John Oliver where he talked about how out of his league Dagwood is with Blondie. He did a little rant on it. It was very funny. And then somebody sent in this, I think it looks like a New Yorker cartoon, but it was very funny. Do you see it? It's a woman in bed, and she looks busted. And as a businessman, her husband has now walked in with his briefcase. He looks at the ground. There's a red and white horizontally striped shirt and clothes. And he goes, okay, where is he? Which, if you don't get it, it's Waldo. Waldo is...
Chris, can you sneak in a random or today's Family Circus, and I'll do that. I forgot. In my haze, I forgot to put even a Far Side in today, so I apologize to everybody. But I'll do a Family Circus blind.
All right, so the Lockhorns. Here's one. Leroy is walking away, looking a little pissed off, and Loretta is showing her two friends her phone, and she goes, "And here we are hitchhiking a ride back from Atlantic City."
That's short and funny. That's really concise. Wow.
And then there's another one. They're at a costume party for Halloween, and there's a guy dressed as the Grim Reaper, and Leroy's walking away from him in disgust. And he says to Loretta, "Figures, he kept trying to sell me life insurance." Cute. And now here's a great one. Leroy is in bed, unshaven, waking up with Loretta, and she's holding her throat. And he goes, "You've lost your voice? You should go and see a doctor in a month or two."
Nice.
Now we got. Oh, look at we got a little Far Side.
Oh,
here.
a Far Side was put in here. Okay, I've never seen this one. This seems like an old one. It's a peacocks are in a bar, or the rest of them chickens.
No, they're called peahens. The females are peahens.
Oh boy, you're getting technical. Anyway, one of them has his whole thing blown up, his tail, and the one goes to the other. Don't encourage him, Sylvia. So I kind of, I don't know. I want to pick that one, but okay. Is there a family circus? That's the one I was going to do blind.
Well, why don't I do a Blondie, and then you do the family circus that Denman is searching for right now.
Okay, perfect.
So here we go. Here's Dagwood.
What is he doing this week, this guy?
Fucking in bed with pajama. Does he wash them? Blondie probably washes. And so he's laying there. He's in bed. She's up. She's already dressed. She has on a black velvet skirt, knee length, and a cute top with black cuffs on a white shirt. Hair is just fucking perfect. And she goes, "Why aren't you getting dressed for work?" He goes, "I called in sick. I'm going to stay home and watch the World Series." And she bends over and she goes, "Honey, it's not a day game. It's a night game." And then the last frame is him at work. And the boss goes, "I thought you were sick in bed." And he goes, "Well, this shows you how dedicated I am." This shows you...
What?
This shows you not only what a fucking poor worker he is, but also when has the fucking World Series ever been a day game?
I think there have been very rare occasions.
Not during the week. Not on a Monday to Friday.
Or something. No. I'm with you. Okay, here's Family Circus. I only see the picture. Oh, good Lord. I don't even have a guess. It's a bunch of kids on the football field, and the snotty little blonde-haired kid's there, and he's talking to a huddle, and he's holding the ball, and there's three other kids. Boy, they have a helmet on and stuff.
One of them's taking a knee.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a huddle, and he's pointing to one kid, and he probably goes, God, I don't even... Do you have a guess? Did you see it?
I saw it.
Oh. I mean, they love wordplay. It's going to be something about like... oh, God, I should have a guess. What would it be about?
Maybe he goes, "Ronnie, you said you were a tight end, but you feel more like a wide receiver."
That is wordplay. That is wordplay. Lend him your helmet, because I'm going to throw it to him. I don't know. That would be lame, and that would be great. Let's have halftime now. I'm hungry. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
I'm hungry for a laugh right now.
Yeah, I'm starving.
We want to give a shout out before we go. There is an organization that is very close to me and Mike's hearts, because the people that run it, as well as the essence of what the group does.
I've worked with them a lot.
It is a group that is called Comedy Gives Back, and our friends Zoe Friedman and Jody Lieberman and Amber J. Lawson, they launched it, and they have raised millions of dollars. Probably millions, right? Probably close to it. They've only been doing it for a few years, and they provide support for comedians who are having a rough time. I mean, comedians, we don't have a union, we don't have pension funds, and so sometimes things get tough.
We don't have mental health.
Yeah, they provide financial crisis relief, mental health, chemical dependency treatment, and they do a lot of amazing stuff for comedians. And I know a lot of comedians personally that have gone through recovery and had it paid for by them. They help people with their rent if they're going to get homeless. So anyway, you can help out. Text
they
LAUGH
do great work
to 707070 or go to comedygivesback.com. It's a charitable organization, and they're really great. And we're doing a golf tournament coming up soon. You going to play in the golf tournament, Mike?
I got a new hip, motherfucker. Yes, I am.
I love it. All right. We also want to thank Midcoast Media, Chris Denman and Key and Beth and John, everybody over there that does a great job every week. We appreciate the support. Thank you guys for your support, for your music that you send in, your logos. Please keep sending those in. We always need more. And we'll catch up to you guys very soon.
Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for doing all the heavy lifting, Greg.
Of course.
And what do I want to endorse? Oh, I'm not jinxing him, but what was it talking about? Willie Nelson at the top of the hour. I listened to Redheaded Stranger again.
Oh yeah, you told me to listen to Redheaded Stranger, and I listened to it, and I had to sit down. I put it on in the background while I was cooking, and I had to sit down and listen.
It's so good.
It's so fucking pared down and simple and just beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. All righty, that's if I'm plugging anything, it's that. Other than that, what about you? You're plugging your comedy dates again? You already did it?
Plugged my dates, and then
can't wait to hear about Gibbons tonight and whatever food you're going to have there for them.
And don't forget, if you're having some erectile dysfunction issues, rexmd.com/papers. Get started with free 2-day shipping and a bunch of other great stuff.
Perfecto. So I think we're going to tell everyone to take it easy.
Take it easy.
All righty.
It's the Sunday Papers Podcast with Mike and Greg. Read all about it.